Hi, friends. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast with me, AJ Smith. I'm really excited today because we're diving into things I'm telling a lot of my clients who are business owners right now. There are themes coming up across the board in a louder way than they have been that I think are really helpful reminders, whether you've been in business for 5 years or 1 year, or you're just about to get started. And a lot of it comes from less overthinking, do the next right thing, and keep showing up. But what does that look like in hands-on ways? Let's find out together. So buckle up, enjoy. Even if you don't run a business, I think there are good things in here about being a human and just reminders. So let me know if you have any questions. As always, subscribe, send me an email, ask questions, and I'm happy to chat anything out. I always love making these, especially when y'all bring me ideas of what you'd like to chat about. Okay, so first off, your business has a role to play. Your business has a role to play. And what I mean by this is so often we think, oh, well, this isn't solving world hunger, so it's kind of stupid, or it doesn't really matter. We are often the trend I'm seeing, we're often the first ones to dismiss the business we want to run because we don't want to overstep or because we don't want to make a too big deal of it or like things like that. But you have your nudge for a reason. You've heard me talk about this, right? Like you have a desire inside of you to run a business that other people do not have. My husband, the idea of running a business to him sounds terrible. He's like, we are made from a different cloth. He has less than zero desire. Me, I love this. I love the different moving pieces of it. And sometimes I enjoy working for other people. And there's something about joy weaving, the work I'm doing, energy work, tarot, like coaching, fairy hair, henna, it all just, it almost feels like I have to, like it's this pull, this like a like a river. Like I feel like I'm on this river. I'm in this flow that here we are, here we're going. Like I'm just following the flow with this, right? And so, but what happens is people have their nudge and they're like, yeah, but maybe I shouldn't, or it's not that big of a deal. And they're dismissing it while also trying to support it. We got to choose. We got to choose, babes. So if you have your nudge and you're listening to it, I need you to stand tall and put your head back and like things will go wrong because this is a journey. You're going to mess something up. You're going to have to backtrack or adjust or do a refund or apologize. That's just the nature of the beast. That's just the nature of business. It's not because you're dumb or you're stupid or your business is bad. It's just in business, we are learning things in real time all of the time. But the thing that's going to make it easier is if you're not apologizing for your business at the same time. Here's my example. I think I said this already, but I can't remember. I enjoy reading. I love reading. I devour books like it's my job. And part of that is StrengthsFinder is input. Like I like that learning. But also, you know what I really love? I love spicy books. I love happily ever after books. I love adventure books that have no purpose other than just to entertain me. You know what's saving my sanity right now? I mean, a lot of things, but one of them is spicy books. And I have been writing to these authors, which if you enjoy books and if there's a book you've enjoyed, please write your author. Just send them a message on Instagram or Threads or Facebook and just be like, hey, I loved this book or this section was really cool or oh my gosh, I'm panicking about this part because XYZ. But I've told them, I'm like, I know this is a crazy world right now, but I want you to know this is giving me life right now. This is helping to sustain me through this. Like, yes, I've got a spiritual life. Yes, I'm going for runs. Yes, I'm doing this. And reading spicy books in bits and pieces here and there are just this break that is giving me space to breathe and kind of escapism and fantasy and just delight for the sake of delight. There's no purpose than just fun. And I need that right now. I need that. And so I've sent that to them and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really needed this right now. A lot of people might think spicy book authors are wasting their time right now because we're in, the middle of the world and blah, 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 all this stuff is happening. And their writing, their books are directly contributing to my capacity to show up for y'all. And then y'all having the capacity to go do your roles. Do you see how it's part of a greater thread? That their role to play is writing good books to help people recoup, breathe, heal. The person making bread is having these moments of connection. They're paying employees who are helping send their kids to college or to school or lunch meals, or they're making sure somebody has food in their bellies today. Like so often we're like, yeah, but I'm not the president, or I'm not a senator, or I'm not the head of the library. I don't know. I'm just making things up. But like, we think because we're not XYZ, we don't have a lot of power, or it's not that big of a deal. But your small business is a big deal. It's a big deal to you. So let's act like it. And it's a big deal to the people who are participating in it. So let's act like it. Because if they give you your money and the next phrase they hear out of your mouth is that you don't feel like you're good enough, or that your business is good enough, and that you're not doing goodness in the world, and that you should be doing all these things, it like almost puts a aftertaste in their mouths of like, oh, but I thought this was good. I thought I needed this. I love this. The incense I buy, 2 cents worth oil and incense, I met them 7, 8 years ago. Wow, I don't even know. 8 years ago in Pennsylvania Ren Fair. And I buy their incense all the time. If you're in a 6-month container with me, if you've ever gotten a joy box from me, their incense is in it. My work, anytime I record, okay, not right now, because it was over there and I'm all snuggled in, but almost every time I record this podcast, pretty much anytime I ever have a client call, that incense is burning. If people come over to my house, that incense is burning. That incense for now so many people, because I went there and had a great experience and now I'm buying, that incense has rippled and is now the scent for so many people to be like, yeah, I'm home. I'm safe. This is a sanctuary. This is a space for me to reset and breathe. Do you see that ripple? So it might be like, oh, but they're just making handmade incense. It's not that important. It's not that big. But actually, it is. It feels sacred. It feels holy. It feels beautiful. It feels like part of the world I want, worth living in. The people building magic, the people running car places where I can take my car and have an honest assessment are so helpful. It like eases my sanity. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how it's these small businesses, but the way that they're showing up, they're loving people, they're doing their jobs well, actually make life easier and better. So what does that look like for you, right? Like, do you see how maybe you've been discounting your job or your business because you're like, it doesn't really matter. But what if it did matter? Even if it doesn't feel like it on the big scale, what if we leaned into it does matter? How would you show up differently? What does that look like? Here's the other piece of this. If you're listening to this, odds are you are a woman, or you are a queer person, or you are a person of color. Just the statistics say this is the overall, my, what do you call it? My audience. Okay. When money is the hands of women, it gets like 5 times recycled back into the community in beautiful ways. Like the science shows this. When money is in the hands of women, the ripple impacts are wild, are wild. It's so cool. And so when we're paying a small business or a small woman business owner or a small person of color or a Black owned business, like that money is rippling exponentially versus like Amazon versus Walmart. And like, I still shop at places. Like, I'm not saying we have to do everything local, like do what you can, right? And sometimes you're like, I need batteries and I know where they're at Walmart. Like these things happen. But I want you to also realize that money in your pocket is good. So often we have this money is bad, like it gets all sticky and stuff, and we got out and wire some of that. But your small business is making impacts both in the money that's coming in and the services and products that are going out. I keep thinking about the artisans that I have in my life that have made things. I keep thinking about the thrift stores that are saving goodness. The little leather dragon that's hanging up here that every time I see it just makes me smile. I have a little squirkly from a Ren fair that sits on my little metal thing that the kids love when they come to my tent. Like there's all these little things, the art, the mermaid tails that people make that people like might be like, this isn't solving world hunger. This isn't saving animals, but it's saving our spirits. Does that make sense? Okay, next up. When we build a business in the 90s and in the 2000s, it's like the ladies of the 80s, there's this idea that you have to have a business plan all the way to the end. It's like, here's where we're going to go. Here's what this is going to be. Okay, we don't know. We have no idea what our business is going to come. Yes, you can do all that, but unless you're trying to get grants and like investments, a whole night is really kind of not needed. And like, not a not a law person, all that jazz. So like take what works, leave what doesn't, right? Like don't sue me for this advice. But you just like first action. So often we get so stuck in, okay, but if this happens, then I make $1 million. What am I going to do then? But you haven't even sold anything yet. Like first steps, do we have our DBA? Have we registered with this state? Do you have your tax ID? Are you selling anything? Do you know what you're gonna sell, right? Some people are like, okay, I'm gonna build this empire. Okay, I'm gonna build this whole paradigm shifting world. Okay, I'm gonna build this temple or this conclave or this, like we've got these big visions, but then we're not doing anything. Or we're doing busy work and we're like doing odds and ends, but we're not actually doing needle moving things. What is actually moving the needle in your business? This is not a comprehensive list, but this is a list. Needle moving tasks, selling your stuff, talking about selling your stuff, like telling people what you are selling, telling people what you do, how much it is, how they can pay you, who is it for, talking about it, doing the thing, doing the business, even doing free things. So often I would like volunteer to do mermaid story times at libraries because I could hand out cards and people would know there's a mermaid. It would get me gigs, right? It's like a simpatico relationship. What are the needle moving things in your business to start making progress? And that can be scary. Some people are like, well, that's so obvious. Okay, but are we doing it? And you're like, yeah, I am. Cool. But a lot of people are not. Or maybe you are, and there's something else that you're putting off because you're like, yeah, but if I do that, then all these other things will happen. Like you're like, this one step is equated, it's equivalent on the scales to the impact 10 steps down the line will have. You will have the tools you need to have to handle what happens 10 steps down the line when you get 10 steps down the line. You are here, step 3, let's say. You have the ability to handle what comes at step 3. Once you do step 4, you'll have the ability to handle what steps comes up at step 4. Sometimes because of what happened at step 3, right? You get your first charge back. Oh, okay, then we know we need to be receipts. You have a client that's like pushing some boundaries. Okay, now we put that in our contracts. Hey, you have a client that can't pay you here. Oh, okay, let me open up a Venmo. Like you start learning things as you go, but you have to go. You build the business of your dreams by taking steps forward, by trying new things. Some of it's going to go great. Some of it's going to suck. Most of it's going to be in the middle. That's okay. That's the nature of the beast. You're on a journey, on a mountain. You are climbing. Your boots are going to get dirty. You're going to have a face full of spider webs. You're going to sleep outside and it's going to rain, like in the theoretical business world, right? There are seasons of plenty and there are seasons of not. All of it is more information. It is not a personal attack. And a lot of times when we're building a business presence and we're overcoming fear, we take what happens in our business as a personal attack. And we've got to remember it's not about you. Our business is us when it is a personal business, and it is not about you, which is weird and it's hard to kind of like wrap your brain around, especially like energetically, because I used to pour me into all of my business of I have to save everyone, I have to make sure everyone's okay, I have to do this. And then I was spread so thin and then I burned out and like I don't regret it. And also, I wish I would have realized this before, that it's really about me showing up in the room alongside spirit so that spirit can hold people and I can hold them alongside spirit And then healing happens, magic happens, but it's about getting them rooted into spirit and into themselves in whatever way their higher power looks like, and not becoming reliant on me. When clients come back to me, it's because I keep pointing them back to them. Does that make sense? But it's not really about me. I'm saying the things in a way that is engaging or allows them to process or understand or grow in a way that is really healing. But it's not because I'm healing them. It's because I'm holding space alongside spirit for them to show up and feel healing and become the person more aligned. Does that make sense? Like I'm showing up for the work, I'm doing it. But if they say no, now I'm not taking it personally. I'm just like, okay, I understand. Like, go fly, go do the things, go. Maybe somebody else is showing up in a way that they need right now. Maybe they need more money focus, or maybe they're like, okay, now I got to like work on ads or something like that. Yes, I don't know anything about that. Go do your things. Or they're like, okay, I'm going to go do this thing or astrology. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I know things, but I don't know things. Like, does that make sense? So do you see what I'm saying? Like you are running your business. The business is on your shoulders. And also, you are separate from your business. So if you don't make it about you when people say no, and you're like, oh, why did they say no? Oh, maybe it's a money thing. Oh, okay. Do I want to have something that's a little bit more accessible or a little different price point? In my 15 years of doing business, $27 is going to be expensive for some people. $5,000 is going to be expensive for some people. $10,000 is going to be expensive for some people. There's a variety of humans out there. So just know that there are people at every price point that are happy to pay. And it is a wild thing to start wrapping your brain around. I'm wrapping my brain around it in new ways in this moment. And I would not have been able to run the business I am running now 2 years ago. I had to go through what I went through in the last 2 years to be able to hold the what do you call vibrancy, visibility that I have now. The way I'm showing up online now, I had to go through what I went through in the last 2 years, really 5 years, to be here now and stay in my body as I say the things, as I do the things, as I type the things, as I hold space in my calls the way I want to. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my water. I got San Pellegrino. It's like the peach sparkling water. Okay, two more things around this thing, and then we'll go to the next tip. Don't overcomplicate it. If you're like one step has 5 things attached to it, break them down into individual steps. Because we're like, okay, I'm going to do all of this weekend or today. And it's like going to be 10 hours, but we're like, I'll get able to do it in 2 hours. I do this all the time. So this isn't a judgment. It's just a statement. Like break it down into, hey, what are actually all these steps? And then just make them their individual steps. Check them off the list. So tell people about your business clearly. Sell your items, like actually sell them. Tell people about it. And like, perfection is not a thing. Janella, oh my gosh, I can't remember her last name. Macbeth, I think. I just had a visibility day with her and she was phenomenal. She was saying, because I'm always like, hey, like, I don't care about perfect. It just needs to be done. Like, I'm a done better than perfect. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. But she was saying perfection is nice to know. Like, what does perfection look like? So you know where you're hitting it or not. Like dream world, what does a perfect day look like? Are we journaling? We're working out. We're reaching out to 5 people. We're doing this. We've posted. We've sent an email. Okay, then if you have a day where you hit all these things, great. Like you're achieving what you set out to do. If you hit 75% of those, oh, okay, cool. Why not all of it? Maybe it's because, hey, it was a time issue, or it's because, oh, my list is actually 5 days worth of things into one. Let me shift that around. Like then we have an awareness of what's what and kind of where we're at, which I think is really fascinating. And I'm kind of still mulling. But so often we're like, okay, but it's not good yet. It's not perfect yet. See what happens. Go get more information. If you try selling something and it doesn't sell, the question is not, oh man, it sucks. I should never do anything again. The question is, oh, that's interesting. Why? Why didn't it sell? Why didn't anybody want it? Is it, does anybody know about it? Like, did you post about it? Did we explain it well enough? Did we have a way for people to pay? And you might be like, AJ, those are so obvious. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've done those exact same things where I'm like, oh, nobody wants this. And they're like, did you share about it? And I was like, oh, actually, no, I didn't. And they're like, okay, cool. So let's go share about it. I was like, yep, good points, Or they're like, I'm like, man, people talked about it, but then nobody paid. And they're like, well, where are you sending them? I'm like, oh, I forgot to put up the booking page or the payment page. Like, we forget how obvious some of these things are. But I just want to remind you that we're all in this together. We're all doing the next right thing. But it's all these little things. And if we don't make it this big mountain we got to do every day to show up for our business, and just little things like, oh, I'm going to make my sales page today. Oh, I'm going to tell people. And also, I have sold things without having a sales page on my website. I've sold things without them even being on my website. I've sold things before I had a website. Like, I've seen people sell things on Google Docs or just in messages or all sorts of things on PayPal links without card processors. Like, we're just way complicating things sometimes that don't need to be complicated. Okay. Um, okay. I said all of this. I like did a voice memo in the car the other day. And so now I have all my notes in front of me. So I'm just making sure I covered everything. Okay. Yeah. So don't get stuck planning. Okay. Number 3, showing up and building visibility. Dun, dun, dun. For some people, being visible feels like death. They're like, this is terrible. I hate it. I don't want to be perceived. Okay. I've got news for you, my friend. If you are running a business, you are going to be perceived. People are going to have opinions. They're going to have feelings. The sooner you can come to terms with this, the better it is for everyone involved, specifically your nervous system. This is a part of it. There will be people who do not like you. It sucks. It really sucks. There are people who are going to judge you. It sucks. It really sucks. There are emails you're going to get about your work and the work you are doing and what other people think you should do about it or with it or not do with it. It sucks. When I tell you being visible is great and it sucks, it's because it's true. It's just true. Well, that's been my experience. Maybe ask me in 3 years and I'll see if I'll say the same thing. But being visible has broken my heart so many times and also given me so much faith in humanity as well. Being visible has allowed me to be in places and rooms I never thought I'd be in. It has given me opportunities I never thought would ever exist. Being visible has helped people stay alive. Me doing red tents, me doing the soul care work I'm doing, people are alive. Because of my book, People Are Alive. I have gotten those messages. People are alive today because of the work I've done. And that is a wild thing to wrap my brain around. Let's just breathe that in for a minute, right? Because here's the truth. It's both. There are people who your work will change. Your work will impact them and they will feel it in their bones. And you will be like, this is why I do it. And you will have other people who do not get it. You will have other people who do not have the capacity to understand your work or don't have the willingness to understand or have the conversation, right? And those are two different whole things. We're not going to get into that, but not everybody, not everybody will get it. And that's part and parcel of the whole thing. Liz Gilbert has this thing in Big Magic where she talks about the shit sandwich, that every job has the sandwich, that pros and cons, right? And with writing, it's rejection. And so she was talking to a fellow writer and he's like, man, I can't take all this rejection. And she wrote and she wrote and she wrote. And he's like, I think I'm going to stop being a writer and go do something else. And she's like, well, I'll take the rest of your sandwich. Like, I'll take the rejection because I need to write. I want to write. Running a business, shit sandwich, right? There's good things and there's bad things. Working for other people, good things and bad things. Anywhere you cut the cake, there's nothing in this world you can do that does not have a sandwich that has pros and cons in it. Nothing you do in this world will have all great things. When you are pursuing your joy, like I am, and I have found a way to make money from the things that I love doing, there are pros and cons in that. See any crafter anywhere, and they will basically tell you the same thing. It is such a gift to be able to do that. And There are really hard parts about that. Okay. So just all of the grace and all of the kindness for that when you show up and people have reactions, repeat after me. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. That's what is the song? That's a them problem. That's not mine. That's not mine. That's not mine. Here's the catch. People's reflections often have truth in them. There is something there that triggered them or activated them to say the things they did. Your job, should you so accept to run a business in this time and age, but honestly, any time and age, is to look at what that thing was and say, oh, did that thing that triggered them or activated them, whatever word you want to use, was that something I did that is in alignment with who I am? Or was it something I did that's out of alignment? Or does it not make sense? Is it not clear? Right? There are things I've done that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I'm like, oh, I didn't actually put a lot of good context on this. I think a year ago, I was like, hey, I'm going to pull back my coaching stuff and just going to focus on energy work. And my coaching clients were like, hey, whoa, whoa. And I was like, oh, no, I mean, like, I'm just combining them because it's all really one thing. I'm not really doing two separate things. It's my energy work kind of blends into my coaching. And then they're like, you should have said that. And you're like, 100%. I should have said, I'm so sorry. And so now I'm like, hey, I'm about to combine these because basically what we're doing, I just don't want to have two people asking, but it's all really one. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh, that was me thing. There are other times people are like, hey, like you should only be talking about Jesus and not higher power when you're doing your work. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much for your feedback. I don't always say that, but a lot of times I'm like, I understand what you're saying. But the truth of the matter is, I have a variety of faiths in my business. It is created that way that I say spirit, flow, higher power, because it's different for everyone. And my umbrella in my business has always been that everyone is welcome, regardless of your faith. So for my tarot readings, for my energy work, I've had Christians, I've had pagans, I've had atheists, and they all get exactly what they need. That is why I say that, right? So do you see the difference? How one time I was like, oh, that's my bad, sorry. And then another time it's like, oh, nope, thank you so much, but that's not mine. And I can release that without feeling guilt about how I should be showing up. Do I still feel guilt? Oh my gosh, 100%. There's so many times I get projections or I get advice or things and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I do this? But here's the thing. I come back to center, come back to my higher power, and I'm like, okay, what's true here? I also go to people I respect and honor who are leading businesses in a way that feels congruent to how I want to show up. Notice that I did not say that are the same businesses that I would like to have or that are running business in the same way I would like. Are they showing up congruently to their business in a way that I would like to show up congruent to mine? The difference is I could go to another soul coach who is running a business, but they might be aggressive is the word that comes to term, but they might be a little more aggressive in how they're selling and things like that, which go team go. If you got the hustle, go for it. I just don't anymore. But like there are people who know the marketing game and it's strong and I love it for them. I love it. I love it. Go team go. I'm not going to ask them for opinions because they're going to be like, okay, hey, your copy and your content is going to be like this. You need to make this more clear, like, da who's it for? Who's it out for? That's great advice. It's not the advice I need in that moment. The advice I need is from someone who's running a business that has stayed centered and grounded. So maybe I'll go to somebody who's running a retreat center or is a yoga teacher or is, I don't know, I'm just kind of riffing, or an author that writes things and people give feedback. And she's just like, nope, I just remember who is this for? Who am I writing for? Who am I showing up for? And keeping that said center, it's like, okay, yeah. I know who I'm showing up for. Okay. They're not a part of that. They can watch, but I'm really here to serve these specific subset of people. Anybody else? Great. You're totally welcome. But I know who my people are, right? Does that make sense? So when you can like let that go and trust that you being visible means more people will see you, but it also means more of your people will see you. And the more you are like you and you're centered in your truth and your alignment with your higher power, the more resonant you're going to be, which makes a better clarion call to your people. Okay. The other part about this is so many times, and if you're watching the YouTube, like you'll see my face. And so podcast folks just know that I have the like, come on, just like work with me face. Numbers count, sure. But also they don't always. It's not the most important thing. It's important, but it's not that important. I have 12,000 people on my Instagram, maybe 20,000 on my Facebook. You know how many people see my posts on Facebook on my business page? Maybe like 50, maybe 100 on a good day, probably seven on a regular day. Okay. Do you know how many of my clients have come from my personal AJ Facebook personal page in the last 5 years? 98% of them. 98% of the people who are my clients are people I have met in person or from my personal Facebook page that I found me. It's just a true statement. That's not true for everyone, but the algorithm is always changing. The algorithm is always changing. I'll talk about this a little bit more later, probably too, but like you showing up consistently actually does more than you trying to be like, okay, I got to build my followers. Yeah, sure. And also, like, you don't own them. You don't own any platforms. And people have been saying this since the 90s. Like, you kind of own your email list, but even that, people have lost email lists. Like, things can happen. So, show up across the board in different ways. And if you're starting out, pick one, pick one, pick one. Just pick one. Once you got that under your feet, then add another one, right? Like just just breathe, just breathe. Just visibility matters. Just showing up matters because when you're talking about what you do and what you sell, then you're going to be in people's minds. And when somebody's like, oh man, I'm struggling with a hard time right now, or just feeling off, or just feeling itchy, like, and my face just doesn't feel the same. You know what people are going to say? They're like, oh my gosh, hey, this AJ chick, she's the Joy Weaver. She works with people for energy work who are just kind of feeling but want to get aligned again. You should go message her, go check her. Do you see how like me talking about what I do then puts that in your mind? Oh man, I really want henna. Oh yeah, AJ's traveling here. She's going to do henna. Message her. Like when you say it, you get in people's minds as, oh, they're the person who does XYZ PDQ. So it's not a yes, making posts, yes, making content, yes, all this stuff matters. And also showing up consistently, being visible in the work you do, saying it out loud, and holding your head up high while you do it, remember, is huge. Okay. Tip 4, taking care of yourself in your business. The burnout is real, folks. The burnout is real. We've talked about this multiple times. We're not going to dive into it, but like the amount of business owners who are burning out, and because of like so many things, that's a whole other podcast episode too. But like, how are you taking care of yourself? Because that's important. And if you're like, it's not that important, it's important. It's important. It's important. Put yourself back on the menu. Okay. When I go to hold space for people, if I don't feel good, I don't hold great space. I just feel off. I'm not deeply connected. Um, like my energetic hygiene is important, my physical hygiene is important, the clothes I'm wearing are important. Like if I'm wearing something that's uncomfortable, so I love like long necklaces and belts and things, but I noticed that when I was doing readings or energy work, I would always tap my chest. And so I have something here. It feels like things are in the way of me connecting. So it's like, okay, no, I need to be able to like touch my chest or my stomach. Like I need to be able to move freely. That is important. Okay. But me getting good sleep, me having my sanctuary days, me going for my runs, my 12-step programs, my good conversations, my good friendships, these things are vital for me feeling good as a human, which means I can show up good in my business. Okay. If I don't feel good as a human, how do you think I'm going to show up as my business? Like frustrated, resentful, when there's a chargeback or when there's questions or when people are like, hey, I know we don't, blah, blah, blah. And then instead of being like, oh, yeah, I totally understand this, I'm like, why can't you just follow the rule? Not that I've actually ever done that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like the resentment can easily creep up for any business owner and does for me if I'm not centered and grounded. And if I'm coming at this from a perspective of I'm responsible for all of it, I'm going to get exhausted and burned out. If I can remember, like, oh, yeah, I'm AJ, who is running the Joy Weaver alongside Spirit. Okay, how do I want to show up in this today? And then on days that I don't feel great or I don't feel good, I cut down what I've got to do. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna do all my content today. Maybe I'm not gonna record 3 podcasts. Maybe I'll just record one. Maybe I'll just do my client calls and then I'll do some TLC in some other ways, right? What does this look like for you? What's your TLC for your business or for your personal life, right? Like it's hard to be on for other people when we're not on for ourselves. Doable? Yes. Have we all done it? Yes, especially if you're a woman. But like, how sustainable is that? The goal here is not to be nice or good. The goal here is to have a thriving, aligned life where you know your soul is good and spirit has your back and you're worthy of goodness. That's the goal. That's what I'm here for, to help you remember at the end of the day. And so if you're not on your own list, we got issues because that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. That's all I have to say about that part. Okay. When you are a business owner, sometimes it feels like it is all on our shoulders because it is. And we can get help in business and community, virtual assistants, things like that. That can look like a lot of things. You're allowed to ask for help. I don't know if anybody's told you this lately, but you're allowed. So that can look like a lot of things. Sometimes people are like, oh, I need a virtual assistant to run all of my content and to make my website and to do all my reach outs, stuff like that. Before you go, I should have XYZ to do PDQ. I want you to look at what is your actual schedule? What do you actually need? And what do you hate doing? So, because my hands went out 3 years ago, when I'm doing computer work, I've got like 2 hours of technical work on a computer typing, and then my hands start being like, hey, could we not? And I'm like, yeah. For me, that looks like copy pasting, like type, like clicking, a lot of clicking just wears my hand battery out very fast. I like making my own content. I like recording my podcasts. I like my client calls. I like following up with my client calls. I like writing my own thank you notes. What I really struggle with is bulk batching my content and scheduling it. I can get it all together, but scheduling it takes so much of my hand capacity. I'm done for the rest of the day. So my VA that I hired, and I tried this not overseas. I was overseas. I was in Korea, but I tried an online virtual assistant and they did great. They did their things that they could do in different ways. But I also found, because I have ADHD, right? All of this is what do you actually need? What, not what people are telling us we need, but really looking at how is our business working? What do we need? As somebody with ADHD, I'm also often like, hey, I'm working in my business, but I'm not doing a needle mover on my business, right? We're not posting about it. Like I'm doing client calls and doing stuff, which is also needle moving in different ways, right? Because if they feel well served, they'll say my name in the future, but also like that's what my business is about serving people. But when I have somebody in the chair next to me doing work, I'm working hard too because I don't want to let them down because people pleasing, right? So that body doubling that we know about, that's what I do with my VA. She comes and she works for 2 hours and I've got all the copy and the content made. Copy is the written version, right? For the social media and stuff. All of that done for the following month. And then she goes through and she schedules it. She schedules it on TheJoyWeaver, my Facebook page, and in Embodied in Joy, and on my Instagram, because if you can do it in the Facebook, it does it automatically, which is great. That happening is great because then it automatically goes up for the month, which then I can breathe. Y'all, that is the most helpful thing she does. Most helpful is getting that scheduled for the whole month. Do I make all the copy? Yep. All the content, all the stuff. Yeah. I've hired out for graphics before. And then also like, then I forget my deadlines. And so now I'm just like, okay, and like, I might pass off graphics again soon. We'll kind of see where things go. But she schedules that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, cool. If I don't post anything the whole month, great, because there's already a post going out the rest of the month. So it frees up space for me to create, be in my business and do things because that's happening. As we move forward, we're going to get more of a sustainable schedule with that. The podcast, this is going to get like chopped up in different ways and then like become reels. but we're not there yet, right? Do you remember how earlier we talked about we're 10 steps ahead? And so when people make a podcast, they might be like, okay, got to record a podcast, then I got to edit it, and then I got to chop it up. It's got to be clips, and then it's got to be here, and it's got to be here. No. On this podcast, you get what you get. I don't edit. We're just here. I think I edited it one. I think I've edited it a few times because like my dog barked or something like that. But on the whole, I hit record and then we're riffing. And then I upload the what do you call it? The verbal version, the audio version to Spotify. I upload this version to YouTube. I make the graphics, we post, I get a little summary, post out there. Literally half the time I forget to post on Facebook that I made a podcast. We're trying to get better at that. We're both batching-ish. So then I can start making posts to be like, hey, so that's why sometimes you'll see me make a post and be like, hey, 2 weeks ago I did this podcast about XYZ. It's because I didn't do it previously, but I'm not making it mean anything. I'm just like, okay, here we are. We're being visible. We're sharing. We're showing up, right? We're helping connect the dots for different things. I have the transcripts and then soon I'll get them up on the website as well if people want to read through. But some people would be like, I can't make my podcast till all of those things are done. No, my one step was record the podcast, get it on Spotify. Then I'm like, okay, putting it on YouTube is super easy. That's doable. Coming up, making the clips and like preemptively scheduling in things into the algorithm for all the stuff. Then LinkedIn, but that's like later, right? So don't overcomplicate it. Right now, my virtual assistant scheduling things for me, then also some other things. But as that gets better, then we'll add some other stuff. But what do you need right now? What is the help you need right now? Maybe it's a friend sitting with you while you do stuff. Maybe you do a Zoom call and you body double and co-work with some other business owners. There's a whole variety. Also, like booth babes, right? When I do events and festivals, sometimes I have a booth babe that helps me out. So what do you actually need? Because sometimes people are buying things they don't need yet because they think they should need them, but they don't need them. I've done that so many times. So just ask yourself, what do I actually need? What am I actually struggling with? And then see what the solving is for that. Because there's amazing VAs online that, yeah, I could hire, but nothing really beats another human in the chair next to me doing work side by side with me for 2 hours a week. Okay. We're circling back to the algorithm and social media is like, please don't overthink this. The algorithm is going to shift. It's going to change. The algorithm's entire point is to keep people on those platforms longer. That's it. By whatever means possible. That means fear, that means anger, that means divisiveness. That means they do not care about you. They do not care. Don't pretend they care. They don't care. If you have a business and like I just got invited to do like paid content, like I'll get monetization content. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's see how this goes. But I know they don't care about me. They're only doing this because people are watching my stuff. So they're like, hey, maybe we'll ask AJ to make more goodness. I'm framing this as Facebook wants more joy on their feed. Facebook wants more delight. Facebook wants more. The world wants, I'm getting paid for more delight, right? Like I'm rewiring this, not the social media machine, but what this means. Does that make sense? But at the heart of this, I'm still not going to make edited reels. Maybe someday. I love pretty reels that are edited and stuff. I'm just not doing them. We're recording for 60 seconds and you get what you get. Algorithms will algorithms. Social medias will rise and fall. Don't. If I can just do the next right thing. Don't get wrapped up in it. There's a big world out there. There's more in-person stuff than you realize as well. Like there's vendor events and things and volunteer opportunities and speaking opportunities. Like go hit some pavement, see what's around in your community. Where can you show up with your business in hands-on ways? I was just talking to a massage therapist and he was moving to Waco, Texas, and he asked if I had any ideas or perspectives. And I was like, yeah, there's lots of events, but like you can become a festival massage person, a LARP massage person that at the Sherwood Renaissance Summer Camp, which tickets are available. Woot woot. There's a lady there. Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, but she's amazing. She's so good. And so she has spots that are available that whole weekend, and you can go get a massage and pay good money for your massage during your weekend of fun. And your body's like, yeah, and I'll relax. And she's making great money, right? There are things like that. That's also a benefit for the summer camp to have her there because then some people like more money goes around. So you don't know unless you ask. but like show up and like don't put everything on the algorithm and even twist it around. Like the algorithm's always working for me. Who knows who needs to see it? I've seen things pop back up like from 4 weeks ago that somebody commented on. They're like, I really needed this today. You never know. You never know. So the way I think about it is I'm just adding marbles to the jar. I'm adding marbles of I'm showing up, I'm consistent. My message is the same across the board. I might say it in different ways, but like it's just I'm telling you the same thing in different ways so that you remember, so that you're standing up taller, so that you're like, okay, yeah, we're showing up. So focus on ease and frequency, not beating the algorithm because like what you beat the algorithm one day and then the next day you get three people that see your view and then you're gonna panic? No, no, just make another video for the next day and you get better. Like so many people are like, yeah, but I'm not good yet. Of course you're not good yet. You haven't started yet, or you just started, or you've only been doing this for a year. Like these things take time. Stop making it mean things about you. So much so much, so much of the work I do is helping people unhook meaning from things that were never supposed to be hooked in the first place. And this is the work I do when I'm getting energy work from my people. And they're like, AJ, why is this sticky for you? I'm like, I don't know, but like I'm a hot mess express when I go have my sessions and I'm just like, I'm struggling with, and they're like, okay, let's unhook this. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. Right? Like the less we can make the like social media and how many people have liked and responded and commented mean things about us, the more we can be like, oh, more people responded to this. That's interesting. What question are we asking? Why? Oh, it's because there's a photo, or because there's something catchy at the beginning, or because this is a personal story and people want to know who I am. Oh, because my face was in it and I was having a good day. Oh, because I shared something personal about my life and it was vulnerable, right? Oh, okay, maybe I'd like to do more of that. Maybe I'd like to do less of that. I don't know. But do you see how it's all just like information? And also, I have had people reach out to me, if you want some evidence, that I did not even know knew that I did life coaching. And they messaged me and they're like, hey, I'd like to sign up for your 6 months. And I was like, great, cool. Let's have a conversation. Let's go. I've had people that have messaged me out of the blue and they're like, I never like or comment respond because I know people watch my Facebook page, but I just want you to know that your content is saving me lately. This is giving me some grace, space, and some sanity, and it's very helpful. And I'm like, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Like, I've had people message me out of the blue for how I showed up in different places. And they're like, I just want you to know what this is. And I'm like, thank you. And like, honestly, there's been days that I've had hard days that I'm like, why am I doing any of this? Like, none of this actually matters. Like, I should be like doing hardcore stuff. I don't know. Like, you know, making a bigger difference in the world. And then somebody messages me and is like, hey, I talked to my daughter today about cycles and her body. And I never knew this when I was younger. And now I know because I read your book. And now she knows. And she's telling her friends. And it's like, whoa, that ripple? Whoa, whoa, you know? So you don't know what's happening. Put your stuff out. Just trust the process. Get more information and just keep showing up. You got your nudge for a reason. Okay. Joy, community. Okay, we're almost there. You're allowed joy in your business. If you run your business and you're just angry all the time, like you're gonna suffer. That's gonna suck. It's gonna suck for you. And that's not like a premonition or anything. It's just telling you business is an adventure. And if you like nothing about it, you're gonna be miserable. How can this be more fun? How can you have some fun? How can you have some lightheartedness? Like things are gonna happen. You're gonna have to laugh about it. You're gonna have to joke about it. You're gonna have to shake it off and like move forward. So where are you having fun, both in your personal life and in your business? How are you making it fun for your customers to interact with you? If somebody has a call with me, I write a little joy mail and it's got like a little letter. I put some cards and some glitter and some stickers and stuff in there and I send it off. And like some people keep them on their altars or they keep them in a box. Like I never expected that when that happened. I just thought people would be like, oh, that's nice. And then they throw them away. People keep them. And I'm like, what? But like it's this little bit of joy that I love, even though I'm the joy weaver. I know. But like the lightheartedness we bring to the work we do makes it an experience for other people to participate. So, what does that look like for you? Are you a tarot reader? Are you a bread baker? Are you a candlestick maker? Right? Like, the song. But what is the experience for other people when they interact with you? And also, like, this is a shout out to my vendors and to the people who work in stalls in different places and in businesses. I have walked into businesses, heard them bad mouthing other businesses or their neighbor or something else or something and just negative. And I'm like, what the? And I just like walk out or I'm just like, never mind. I don't want to order here. How you show up in person and online directly impacts your business directly. And I just am so confused sometimes when people are like, nobody wants to buy from me and da da and all these people are so stupid and why wouldn't anybody? I got great shit and da and this person over there, he sucks. And I'm like, well, you're yelling the whole time and you seem miserable, my friend. Of course, nobody wants to stay right here. Like the world is a lot right now. And when you are trying to sell stuff is not the time to air your grievances of the world and how much you hate people and you hate your customers and you hate your clients. Like, what? No, no. So just sometimes there's like silly mistakes, stupid mistakes. And like we've all been there where you've said something out loud and then you're like, I should not have said that. That's my bad. You're kind of confiding in a fellow business owner or something, and somebody over here is like, these things happen. But there are trends I see of people who are consistently negative and angry and like bitter about their business and people who are paying them or choosing not to pay them and not taking any self-reflection to be like, maybe I'm doing something that's driving people away. Does that make sense? Like if you've been at any market, you know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes people are like the energy is off and you're like, I'm good. I don't need these tomatoes. I'll go get tomatoes somewhere else. Sorry for bothering you. I don't know. Ugh, I just recalling all these different experiences I've had with this in the performance world, mermaid world, vendor world, business world, all of it. All of it. God, guys, just watch your words. Watch your words. And this isn't like a watch your words. We're living in fascism, so don't speak up. It's a watch your words. How are you talking about yourself, other people around you, your community, and your customers, your clients? I was getting my nails done one time, and they were in English, smack talking a girl who had just called over the phone to change her like appointment time or something. And they're like, yeah, she bought it up and like out loud. And I'm like, and my hands are being held and I just wanted to like pull them back and be like, what the fuck? Um, but I was getting my nails done and then I like asked for something. She's like, bought it out. And I was like, okay, sorry. And then I just like, I was near tears at this point because it was already a not fun experience overall. Then I was like, hey, can I just put in a request? She's like, yeah, what up? And I was like, can you just not, when I leave, can you not talk bad about me when I leave? Can I just put in that request? And she's like, I would never. I was like, you literally just did on the phone about a client while we're all sitting here. And the girl next to me who was also getting her nails done was also just like keeping really quiet, but I could see her just like, I could feel her palpably alongside me. And she's like, yeah, yeah, of course. And anyways, the rest of the nail appointment was not the best. And I paid, and it was like $30, $40 more than I was expecting. And she didn't tell me that in advance. And I was like, okay. And so I just paid and walked out. And I just went in my car and I cried. I sobbed in my car. I mean, I cry anyways, but like such a bad experience. And I just wanted to peel my nails off of my skin because it just felt like, what was that? What was that? Why would you treat anybody like that? And just the way they were, we don't need to get into it. We just got into it. But I'm just letting you know, even if people aren't energy workers like me or feel energy, they feel the energy. You've walked into a room and you've known it's been weird. Even if you're like, I'm not an energy person, AJ, you've walked into a room where you're like, something just happened. That was weird. That was off. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Moving on. Moving on up. Moving on up. Okay. Here's kind of the last. Your business will keep changing. This doesn't mean you're bad, you're wrong, you're stupid, you've done things wrong. It's just the nature of business. Your business will change. I started this business. Technically, it started before even I was mermaiding. Like I was speaking at schools and like doing workshops on like following your dreams and confidence and all these different things and working in after school programs. But then I became a mermaid. And then from mermaiding, I realized people wanted to have another party because they had a different child, but I only had mermaiding. So I was like, well, let me add a fairy character. And then people had another character they had another daughter, or they wanted a party the following year, but not a mermaid. So then I added a princess that was my own character. But then I got into henna. So then I was doing henna. But also before that, I was doing art because I wanted shoes, but then other people wanted shoes. Then I made some wands because I wanted wands and other people wanted wands. And I made signs and I was doing Comic Cons and I was doing vendor events and art shows and craft fairs. And then I found out about red tints and then I started doing red tints. And then we wanted some workshops. So we led workshops and retreats and then one-on-one work. Do you see how like these things just evolved? And I thought I was just going to be a mermaid. And now here we are with a podcast that I thought I might have a podcast about mermaids. Well, this podcast only occasionally mentions mermaid. Maybe I'll ask a mermaid to be on the podcast and we can chat and you can hear all about the mermaid life because there's so much stuff about the mermaid life that I recognize normal humans don't know, but I always think it's fascinating. Um, but do you see how, and then the book, right? And then the book and all that things, God, and all the writing and all the articles and it and more speaking, more traveling, and now Fingerpot's fairy hair, right? Like it all just keeps going. And if I would have tried to plan this, I would not have seen this coming. But what I did do was I kept doing the next right thing. I stayed open for what was being revealed of what people asked for, what people wanted, what I felt a nudge to do. When I was like, can I do this? Is this normal? Could I? Like I was doing energy work for people without even realizing it for a hot minute. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if I could offer this. I would love to offer this. So then I tried it out for a few people and they're like, oh my God, this is like going to the chiropractor, but for my soul. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then, same thing with tarot reading, same thing with coaching. I got my coaching certificate because I was like, hey, I want some more tools. This is how we grow is we keep learning the next right thing. And then what's missing? What tool don't you have? Oh, okay. Hey, I'd like to learn a little bit more about sales and marketing. Okay, let me go take a course for this. Okay, let me get a mentor in this. Do you see what I'm saying? That like it's all going to grow. It's all going to expand in ways that you don't even perceive. Your one job is to keep going. Your one job is to keep showing up and doing the next right thing and stay open to what more information is yet to be revealed. If you get so caught up in what your business might look like 5 years from now and aren't actually here for the shifts that could happen that will alter your life in ways you do not even begin to comprehend. Past me could not even imagine what we're here now, right? Oh, and I forgot about my whole time as a virtual assistant. More information is yet to be revealed. Your business is an ongoing life form that is evolving and moving and changing. And so are you. And so, my advice at the end of the day, the reminders I'm giving to everyone across the board, more or less, is to hold on loosely. Don't let go. Just hold on. Hold on loosely. Be willing to shift. Be willing to change. Don't take it personal. It's all information. It's all information. Sometimes that information is you're showing up in a way that's not in alignment. That information sucks to have, but it's good information. As somebody who has gotten that many times, sometimes the information is, hey, that's working. Keep going. Sometimes the information is, hey, that's not working. Stop that. But if you can take a step back from your business and be like, okay, what does showing up, what does practicing visibility, what does sharing about the work I do look like? Hey, do people have an ability or a way to pay me? Hey, do people know they can pay me? Do you know how many times? Probably a couple times, not a couple times a week. Uh, at least once or twice a week, I get a message or I chat with somebody that's like, I didn't know you wrote a book, or I didn't know you used to be a mermaid, or I didn't know you did coaching. I didn't know you did energy work. What's energy work? What's coaching? And I'm like, I feel like I'm talking about this all the time and I'm annoying everyone. If you want the full honest truth, my friends, I feel like I post on the Facebook and the stuff so much that I'm like, everybody probably hates me. They're probably like, why is AJ posting? The truth is, I only post maybe once a day, if that. And so, like, we're working on it. I'm going to post more. But I get messages from people that are like, I love this. You're my favorite thing on my feed. I love these reminders about joy. The way we perceive ourselves and the way other people perceive us is just so different, guys. It's so different. But like, we just got to keep showing up at the end of the day is trusting the process and being like, okay, yes. And what if it's not even about them? What if it's because you need to do this? This is a path you need to go through, a journey you need to go through about learning and growing and showing up and selling because we think everybody knows. We think everybody knows all the things we know because we know them, but they don't. They don't. They don't. And that's okay. That's okay because there's so many things other people know that we don't. We're all learning and growing together, which I think is super cool. And your business, you are a part of that. You're a part of this ecosystem. And how fantastic is that? Right? So we need the goodness. We need the joy. We need people running cool LARPs for people to have a break from reality, but also to like explore things that are inside safely. We need our spicy books. We need our bread makers. We need our people working on bicycles and cars. We need our people who are math tutors. We need people who are science people. We need our lawyers. We need our constitutional, like knowing people. We need our politicians who are showing up in integrity. We need our stay-at-home moms, like loving their families well and taking care of themselves. Oh my God, if you're a stay-at-home mom, please, like, come on. TLC for you. You are allowed goodness. Like, please. It all counts. It all counts. And your business can move towards the world we want to see, right? This year, when we ran the Joy Challenge, we donated $436, I think, to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. And it's like we talked about joy and it had a direct impact on the world, right? A portion of my proceeds go to the Bautista Project in Tampa, who helps homeless people. A portion of the proceeds go to Kiva Loans, and it's like a place that loans recycle, right? So like this money that is coming my way also gets recycled back in beautiful ways, right? And so, what is your business? How are you part of the greater ecosystem of the world? How are you part of the greater ecosystem of the world? Because when you can remember your role to play, when I remember I'm here as soul maintenance for people to come in a little battered and bruised sometimes and be like, I can't remember. How do I be a human? And then we go, do do do. We do some energy work. We do some soul coaching. And then they're like, oh, yeah, they get some henna, they get some fairy hair. And they're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm alive. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then they go back out and they go take over the world. I'm like, oh, great. That's my role. When I try to do anything other than that, or when I'm like, oh, but I should be like XYZ PDQ, either I burn out or then people are like, how do I do this with joy? And I'm like, and then I come back and I'm like, we do it like XYZ. And then I try to leave again, but more people are like, wait, how do we do this with joy? I'm like, okay, XYZ. This is my role. This is where I'm at. This is how I'm helping the resistance. This is how I'm helping the world. This is how I'm holding my thread, which sometimes doesn't feel enough and sometimes feels exactly right. I don't know what your thread is. Only you can answer that, right? But you're here in this time and place for a reason. That much I know to be true. You're not a mistake, and you've got your nudge, your specific nudge that I do not have. The person standing next to you does not have. You've got some specific stuff that you desire to bring into the world and to make known. Go do the things one bit at a time. Stop tripping yourself up. Keep breathing. And if you're like, AJ, I need help with this, send me a message. I've got one more spot in my coaching books till I'm booked up for the next 6 months, unless I open up some extra spots. But then we got some more magic kind of brewing behind the scenes. But I got one spot left. So if you want it, send me a message. Let's chat. And my podcast will still be here. My content, Embodied in Joy, my free Facebook group. So come join, like and subscribe. If this podcast was helpful today, you're like, oh yeah, these were the good reminders. Send it to somebody who might be helpful. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, places podcasts are heard. I don't know. The places. I put it up on Spotify. Spotify does the rest. So let's shake it out. Take a big breath, drink some water, trust the process, do the next right thing. You got it. Sing your soul song, friends, and I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.